So today we are watching like a chill one. It's called "Why Are Bad Words Bad" by Vsauce. Don't ring a bell for like his channel name, but he looks familiar. I will say that, and also really big YouTuber too. This was from 12 years ago, by the way, so a little bit of an oldie, and by a little bit, it's an old.
When you call customer service and hear this,
To ensure quality service, your call may be monitored or recorded.
they're not kidding. Over the last year, the Marchex Institute analyzed more than 600,000 recorded phone conversations Americans made to businesses in the United States. Turns out, people from Ohio,
Wait, what?
Recorded.
they're not kidding. Over the last year, the Marchex Institute analyzed more than 600,000 recorded phone conversations Americans made to businesses in the United States. Turns out,
Oh. See, I thought, well, I'm assuming companies obviously do that too. Like it's to help their company. But I thought like this call may be recorded or whatever. I thought it was actually just only for the company and for them to train people on like how the average person talks or something. I didn't know they like gave it to like other businesses and stuff like that. But yeah, that's also what they do with like information, like when you accept cookies and stuff like that. They do sell your information. So I guess I'm really not surprised that they sold their phone conversations.
people from Ohio were the most likely to use curse words: the A word, the F word, and the S word.
Wow. What? I guess it is Ohio, so
Washington State residents were the least likely to use bad words.
what states were those?
Washington State residents
Texas. They're saying Texas is one of the states least likely to curse. That is complete opposite. If Texas was dark blue, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm actually surprised that it's the least cuz Texas, but aren't there a lot of religious people in Texas too? That also could be why. Like I'm pretty sure a lot of religious. Okay, Illinois, that's where I live, and it is likely to curse. Yes. Um, a lot of people. There's a lot of swear words going on. You walk down Chicago, you're hearing some stuff, especially from the old homeless people, like, and just homeless people in general. Like you walking down Chicago, they'll say some like crazy shit, and they're just talking to themselves.
were the least likely to use bad words.
What is this?
But
What's
what
the other
makes
map? Most courteous. So I don't know how I messed that up, but that says courteous. I do know how to read. I got it right when I saw it because now I'm editing. But yeah, and I am wearing blue light glasses too. Got to protect your eyes. But I am really surprised that Wisconsin was or is or was least courteous than the other states, because I thought Wisconsin is really nice. Like just overall the state. I've also been to Wisconsin and it was a nice place. I didn't get disrespected or anything. The people were nice there, in my opinion. But I was surprised that there's a lot of not courteous people in Wisconsin. But yeah, back to the vid.
But what makes a word bad? Ooh, well, be careful, because etymologically speaking, even the word bad can be considered a bad word. It began in Old English as a derogatory term for an effeminate man. 80% of swear words overheard in public in 1986, 1997, and 2006 were essentially the same. 1/3 of all counts included the top two, the F word and the S word.
Yeah, those are the
Slate's
main,
Bill
and those are
lexicon
my
value-
main. Like, those are my main, you know? My main, I would say, like, bad word loadout.
podcast
you know?
reported that these 10 words make up about 0.7% of the average English speaker's daily vocabulary, which means socially unacceptable words are used almost as often as
Well,
socially
dude, that's also because the F word can be used in so much different ways. Like, I say, like, the F word is one of the best words in human language. I'm just gonna say it like that. Like, that, there's so many meanings. Like, it's just one of those words that you can say it, like, fuck, but you can say it so many different ways. And I think that's cool.
descriptive words. First-person plural pronouns account for about 1% of the words we say every day.
Wait, what?
When a bad plural pronoun often as socially descriptive words. First-person plural pronouns account for
Okay,
about
plural
1%
pronouns.
of the words we say every day. When a
1%.
bad word is bleeped, it is covered with a 1 kilohertz sine wave.
They're what?
Covered with a
They're
1
saying
kilohertz
our
sine
and like
wave,
we
which sounds like this.
is only used
Son of a-
1%. Like, plural words are only used 1%. I would think it would be more than that. That's surprising. That's surprising.
By the way, the symbols and squiggles that are used to represent a bad word have a name. They're called growlixes. They were named by Mort Walker in his seminal The Lexicon of Kamakana.
Growlixers?
He names a lot of things, but most of them show stuff. They don't hide stuff. Why the need to hide
The coffee
bad
is
words,
hot.
especially if we all pretty much know what's being said? Well, there is no one single reason bad words are bad. Steven Pinker, in his excellent lecture on the topic,
That's what,
delineates
like, there
five-
is, like, if you think about it, like, there is no reason. Because some guy just was like, wow. Like, some guy just, like, randomly was like, that's a swear word. You know?
types of swearing. First of all,
And who creates words? Like, how does a word get created? I know, like, there's, like, brain rot words, and, like, those, like, just get created, you know? But I'm wondering, like, don't you know, like, let's say, what's not a word? Let me look. Let me think. I mean, not look. Looking through my brain. I guess. Worser. Worser, I'm pretty sure isn't a word, right? Word. Technically it is. I can't really think of one right now. I was thinking of worser. A lot of people say, like, that's not a word. I was just gonna give an example, and that was gonna be like, why isn't that a word? You know? Like, who went, oh, this shouldn't be a word? I was gonna try to go that route, but I really can't think of one. I really thought of worser, but that technically is a word. So, damn, I can't think of one. That
some
sucks.
words are bad on purpose. They are created and or used with the intent to hurt others.
Yeah,
He
like
calls
somebody was like thinking of like what word, like when they thought of, like, for instance, fuck. When they thought of that, they probably were like, what word could I think of that I could say like is a swear word or a bad word or something? Like, obviously it's like that, but it's just crazy how like just like words, like they aren't really anything. They obviously mean something to us, but I'm saying like we just like made it up, you know? Like it only means something to humans.
Abusive swearing, using words to insult, humiliate, objectify,
Unless
and
there's like some alien species in the solar system, you know,
marginalize disfavored people.
or the galaxy.
If that disfavored person is God, we're talking about supernatural swearing, which was particularly taboo in Victorian times. It was believed that casually or vainly referring to God would physically injure God himself, literally. So, at the time, people were forced to come up with euphemisms like zounds and gadzooks, which originally meant God's wounds, and God's hooks, referring to the nails driven through the hands of Jesus. Historically,
crazy.
swear words often came from things we were afraid of, things we perceived as dangerous.
Like if you said the word God, like imagine like you're in this time, you accidentally say it. What happens to you? Like, or like because the people that are religious, right? You say it, they're thinking now you've hurt my God. Now you've are torturing him or something. Like did they like get executed or something? Cuz if that's true, that's absolutely crazy. But I just wonder what would happen to someone back then that accidentally said the word God. Like I'm assuming there had been like one person
stronger than us and mercurial,
that like
such
accidentally
as
came out.
death, disease and infirmity, sex and sexually transmitted diseases, as well as body fluids, germy, gross.
What the hell is he talking about? Death, diseases.
Such as death, disease, and driven through the hands of
Okay,
Jesus.
yeah.
Historically, swear
then
words
gone.
often came of things we perceived as dangerous, stronger than us, and mercurial, such as death,
Oh,
disease,
okay,
and
yeah.
infirmity, sex and sexually transmitted diseases, as well as body fluids, germy, gross effluvia. Words for those gross things became gross and bad in and of themselves, uncouth to speak. But not all words for gross things are socially unacceptable, which brings us to Pinker's second type of swearing, emphatic swearing. Emphatic swearing is where the tabooness of bad words becomes quite practical. You wouldn't usually use those words.
I'm
but
just gonna say this. This is such a good video. Well, I guess 12 years. What was that? Or not, 2014. Dude, he did really good. I'm just gonna say it. Like, this is a 12-year video. This is a good
you
video.
really want to convey that your current emotions matter more to you than proper social conduct, you can use them. Dysphemism. A euphemism is a kind, acceptable word that allows you to talk about
Like, it's just so simple and interesting at the same. Like, it's so good.
unpleasant while simultaneously letting everyone know you totally get that it's unpleasant and want to respect that. For instance, if you want to be professional, you wouldn't say shit, you might say defecate. If, on the other hand, you really want to drive home just how unpleasant the experience was, dysphemisms can help out a lot. It wasn't a bag of canine defecation you found on your front porch, it was a bag of hot dog shit. Both of these words refer to pretty much the same thing, but they have different levels of social acceptability, and that's very helpful. It means word choice allows us to not only refer to things in the real world, but also to have...
Nah, but if there's people out there that have opened their door, like they hear their doorbell ring, they go out to check, they go to the door, they open their door, and there's just a bag on fire. They go to step on it, and it's just shit. Like, and I think that's crazy. Because it happened, I see it in movies, and I guarantee that's happened to multiple people in real life, and to be that person that it happened to, like, that's like crazy experience. Not an experience that you want, but it's just like someone possibly pooped in a bag, put it on your front porch, lit it on fire, and then if you actually stepped in it, like, which that's like your first thing you think of, like there's a fire, you step on the fire a little bit, get it out, especially like if it's just like a small bag fire. Like there's certain fires that you use your foot to get out, and then there's certain fires that, well, you wouldn't.
how we feel.
But I just think that's crazy to be the person that would happen to. Like, you would be like, why me? Like, that would be, like, you would think, like, your life wouldn't be real. You would feel like you would be in a movie, Like, it's just one of those things that it's like, I don't know, I kind of rambled, but, like, I don't know. I feel like that's like I don't know. I just was really interested about the people that's happened to.
If both of these words had the same
I would talk to
level
one
of
of them.
social acceptance,
No.
we might even have to find new, badder words so as not to lose the power
Get their
language
story.
currently has to express emotion, repulsion, and disgust. But when it comes to two words referring to the same thing, but with different levels of social acceptance, who decides which one's good and which one's bad? Well, historically, many of the bad words we use today are the result of class differences. In medieval England, the lower class Saxons spoke a Germanic tongue, while the upper class Normans spoke a language related to French and Latin. English, as we know it today, contains many consequences of their differences.
What?
Many of the bad words we use today
They spoke two
are the
different
result-
language?
Class Saxons spoke
Wow. Like, that's crazy. That the different classes spoke like a whole different language, but you lived in the same place.
a Germanic tongue, while the upper class Normans spoke a language related to French and Latin. English, as we know it today.
So, like,
contains
if you were upper class, you wouldn't even know what the lower class is saying to you. And if you're lower class, well, you don't know what the goes both ways, So, like, if you're either, like, that would be crazy. That'd be crazy. I feel like the lower class and probably the upper class, like the upper class probably like was thinking like the lower class was talking shit to him, because that's what sometimes because I don't understand Spanish, like if there's like people or whatever speaking Spanish, sometimes I'll turn over just to like, or like look at them just to like see, or like glance. I'll say like I'll glance over to see if they're like looking at me or something, to see if they're like talking shit or something. But like, yeah, like
many consequences of their
probably started some fights, some deaths were caused because they couldn't understand each other, and one of them thought they were talking shit, and all of a sudden one of them's gone.
differences. The lower class worked with
That'd be
animals,
crazy.
and from
I
there,
always do think, like, back in the day, the times were absolutely insane. Like, people would just get away with, like, murder, and people would just do crazy shit, man. Crazy shit. And the ways that we were thinking, too. It's just crazy the things we did back in the day.
we get animal names. The upper class only ate the animals, which is where the names
Like, for instance, I'm pretty sure back in the day, I would say, like, this is like the 1800s. I'm pretty sure uh a barber, like their barber, the person that cuts your hair, right? They would also be a dentist, and I'm also certain that they would also, like, some of them, not all of them, but some of them would perform the thing where they basically say, like, if you had a headache or something, or a bad headache, you would basically go to your barber, and they would take like a take like a tool, and, like, put it against your, like, a sharp tool, put it against your skull, and drill a hole in your skull, and they would just I'm pretty sure it was like there was like a handle, and they would just, like, move the handle, and it would just go drive straight into your skull, and there would be like a hole, and then they would patch it up. Most people would die. Most people died from it because they would get, like, infections and stuff. But that was just crazy. Like, you had a headache, and they thought, like, let's drill a hole in your skull. I think that'll work.
the meat come from. Today's swear words are similar. Defecation stems from fancy pants Latin, whereas the less classy
Oh yeah.
is Germanic. There's also idiomatic swearing, where nothing is being emphasized. No
Well, wait. Was I? Well, he said French. I'm confused. I'm wondering if they spoke the same language, but they just spoke it differently, or did they speak actually two different languages, like the upper class and the lower class, like, actually couldn't understand what they were saying.
dysphomism
Now I'm
is meant.
confused.
Instead, it's an easygoing type of swearing that shows an atmosphere
But whatever.
is casual. Bad words can be used. We're all close here. It's okay to swear. We're all cool. Cathartic swearing is a bit different. It gives us lolochesia, the medical term for the relief swearing provides when you're in pain. In
Yeah.
the brain, swearing seems to involve different regions than regular language.
And that's when you let it all out, you know? That's when you don't hold back. You stub your toe, or, I don't know, fall down the stairs. While you're falling down the stairs, like, you obviously, like, have to be like a certain type of person, but like me, while I'm falling down the stairs, I don't know if I would be speaking, but I'm assuming I'd say some things, you know? I'd say some swears, especially at the end. You fall down the stairs, now you're just laying on the ground. You're letting things out.
Which may explain why people with aphasia caused by brain damage struggle to comprehend or construct spoken
Especially when you're
words.
old, dude. Like, I don't know how much old people swear, but, like, you're old, you're fragile, you fall, you go for a tumble. I'd say I would swear more when I'm older than if I got hurt now. because I'm older and I just like don't give a shit. 10-year old's birthday party. It's just like a family gathering or something, you know? Or like, I was just there or something. And I was just at some like 10-year-old's birthday party. I fall. That would just be bad. That'd be bad. Because usually when I get hurt, like I swear, but then I'm old, you know? So I've been used to that for a long time. That 10-year-old is going to learn some words. Let me tell you that.
but yet are fluent
Well, maybe not
at
learn,
swearing.
but hear some new words.
Or why people with coprolalia control normal language just fine, but involuntarily utter profanity and obscene words. It turns out swearing may be centralized in the limbic system, along with emotions. Many animals make automatic noises when in pain or threatened to startle or intimidate attackers or to let others know what's going on. In humans, bad words are great for this purpose. Their tabooness makes them special. People wouldn't use them otherwise, so they are great alarms. Swearing is changing. Some bad words are being used more and more frequently. Of the 7 words George Carlin said you could never say on television, today, every second, 22 of them are sent out on Twitter.
Yeah, well, Twitter, well, now it's technically X, but Twitter has, like, just people doing, like, the craziest stuff, actively, like, doing, like, crimes. Aren't there, like, crimes? Like, people committing crimes on Twitter? Like, Twitter is absolute nuts.
So what will swearing look like in the future? It probably won't go away altogether, it's too useful, but the words we don't like will likely change. History has shown that as disease becomes less scary and sex and the supernatural more personal, words related to them become less taboo and more common, whereas words that were common in the past are increasingly unpleasant. Perhaps in the future, spurred not by runaway political correctness but by wider knowledge, words like schizo, mental, aspie, or even depressed will take the swear stage. Or as John McWhorter ventured, words center.
Yeah, I don't know. I would say depressed is getting more normalized. Like if you have depression, like it's more acceptable and to like and if you have depression to kind of like not hide it. But back in the day, if you had depression, you wouldn't tell no one if you were sad, you know, especially if you're a guy, you know. So it is getting more normalized to like be yourself, I would say, if like you have depression and be comfortable with having depression, which depression obviously isn't comfortable, but if you have depression, you have to be okay with having depression, you know? Like you just gotta like accept it.
Around class and the
Because
gap
if you don't, well then I would say it makes it worse. In my opinion.
between opportunity and disadvantage will become more taboo. Salt of the earth, trash, chav, pikey, urban as a
Chav, what does that mean?
When McKay Hatch started a no cussing club at his school, his campaign became the target of so many online jokes and insults for being lame or anti-free speech. On his book, he literally subtitled his own name, The Most Cyber-Bullied Kid in the World.
Oh
People
my
care
gosh.
about this stuff. Is it
Yeah, I would say that censorship, but also, do I also like people that don't swear too? Yeah, you know, like I don't think it's lame not to swear. I swear because I'm fine with other people swearing, and also I like to swear. Like I like to say shit when I'm mad. Or I like to swear when I'm mad or something. Or if someone's getting on my nerves, I like to call them a shithead. You know, like things like
Censorship
that.
to tell us
Like
what we
I'd like
can and
to
cannot
swear.
say? Or is it a safety seat?
And it also like just doesn't offend me also. But I do know it offends some people and whatever. That's fine. Just don't uh be on my ass about it, you know? Like there's those people that don't swear and don't care if like other people swear, but then there's those people that don't swear, and then if you do swear, you're like a hooligan
Ensuring
to
certain
them.
dysphemisms don't get worn down to a quotidian bluntness like every other word? Or is the badness of bad words a boundary, a moving boundary of what we reject? Sometimes arbitrary, sometimes irrational, but always moving in the direction of acceptance, moving forward. Crime and inequality have existed ever since they could. But when NWA released a reaction in the form of a song with a bad word in the title, the police, the Federal Bureau of
Good album, good album. NWA, just good rappers in general. Like they released some of the best rap tracks ever or rap songs ever.
Investigations released a statement against the song. It was the only time up until then and since the FBI has ever issued an official statement about a work of art. Bad words have power.
Yes.
If you want to push for change, you'll need something to push. If everything's fine, nothing's cool. So, bad words are the precipitate of a larger reaction. The process of us slowly becoming what we want to become. That's some deep shit. And as always, thanks for watching.
Yes, dude. I'm gonna like the vid. Good vid.